Hey everybody, it's Sugar Bar Philosopher. Welcome back to the channel. Remember that old joke? You know the reason I carry a 45? Because they don't make a 46. Haha, well they do make 500 Magnum, 500 or 50 AE. They do make a 46. They make something bigger than a 46. Aside from the fact, today we are going to be testing the more powerful 45 caliber rounds. We're going to be testing 45 ACP plus P. We're going to be testing 45 Super, and we're going to be testing 460 Rowland. Don't be confused, the 460 Rowland is still 45 caliber. Let's get to shooting. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Today we're going to be using my 460 Rowland that I have all back and working properly. We're going to be testing 45 Super, 45 ACP, and 460 Rowland. So everybody knows that 45 is an older cartridge. It hasn't had a revamp. Usually goes around 800, 900 feet per second. Well, what if we use some of this more modern ballistics that everyone talks about with 9mm, more modern powder, more modern ammunition and bullet types that everyone talks about and craves of why 9mm is so much better? Well, let's put that to the test with 45 ACP. So we have a plus P with the extreme penetrator round from Underwood. We have the 45 Super with a 200 grain penetrator round from Underwood. And we have the 460 Rowland with a 200 grain extreme penetrator. We're going to test these out. We're going to do some lab radar work. We're going to shoot them into gel. Let's get going. Okay, so first up we have 45 ACP plus P. All right, see how we did. Okay, well this is our 45 ACP plus P round. You can see that it does do some tumbling, and that screw tip type head on the bullet does get some pretty good action on it. You can see that it comes out to here. Sorry if you can't see that. It comes out to about the 26.5-inch mark, and the bullet is headed in the other direction, so maybe it had some tumbling. See, that's pretty good penetration for an extreme penetrator with 45 ACP. Let's move on to the 45 Super. All right, up next we got our 45 Super. Now remember, I wouldn't just throw your 45 Super, even though it would fit in any old 1911. Just make sure that your gun is capable of handling the pressures that are going to come with 45 Super. Oftentimes requires a barrel swap or something like this. Of course, this is a 460 Rowland rated barrel, so just all I'm saying is don't just go off and, oh yeah, I'm going to buy some 45 Super and stick it in my 1911. It may or may not work, or blow your hand off. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's kind of fun. Got a little pressure back. That looks like a good shot. Let's go see what happened downrange. Take a look and see what we have. We have a little bit bigger, more permanent type wound cavity. I know a lot of people say, hey, don't pay attention to that, but this is the top one up here that we're following it along. And it kept going, and ironically, it ended up the same spot, right up in here. That screw tip type bullet. You can see it there. You can see the other one below it. They're both at that 26.5, 27-inch mark. So that is, yeah, they're both at that 27-inch mark. Surprisingly, it didn't go any deeper, but I definitely think that when I look at the gel test, we're going to see a bit more of an explosion happening because there was more of an energy dump into the gel. Okay, well, I'm really pretty excited about this 200 grain, and all of these are 200 grain projectiles, but really excited about the 460 Rowland. Significant more power than the plus P, which is 1,000, then the Super, which is 1,100. This should be going about 1,400 feet per second. Let's see if we can see that in the gel, and if it makes a difference in terms of gel penetration, which may or may not have any correlation with real life. Definitely feel that. Let's go down range, see what we got. Okay, so let's take a look and see what we got. You can just see there's just a lot more of a wound track. That screw tip bullet, again, it's called sort of an exterior hollow point, but yeah, it's a solid copper bullet, and it is even making some tumbling and some other effects down past that 26, 27 inch mark, and it extends all the way out to about 30 inches. So another 4 or 5 inches of penetration than we had from the other rounds, which could be enough of a difference to make a difference, especially when you're looking at that end of the gel block. So yeah, I think this would be a pretty significant round if you wanted it for grizzly bear defense. If you are unfamiliar with what these bullets look like, they're again a solid copper mono metal, there's no lead in them. They look like the tip of a screwdriver. That's why I kept saying that. If you haven't seen these before, they look like a Phillips head. There is no deviation, there is no deformation, and there should be no deformation in these. That's not what you're expecting. Okay. We're just going to put one round of some Herder's 45 ACP FMJ just for comparison. Let's take a look and see how that went. The old adage is slow and steady wins the race. Well, this is our 45 ACP FMJ, the 2 World Wars round, and it goes all the way out to 32 inches. Now, don't be mistaken, there's a lot less power being dumped. It's really just poking holes through, moving along like the tortoise does, but just for comparison. That's good. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to actually start out with 45 ACP. We're just going to shoot around, get some lab radar results so that everybody can get a comparison on what's the difference between 45 ACP all the way up to 460 Rowland. And remember, these are just sort of some, I think they're like Herder's 45 ACP FMJs. I do have the weaker spring or the other spring kit that allows me to shoot 45 ACP so that we can get cycling, and this will be a good test for that with the comp on. See if the thing continues to cycle with some weak saw stuff. 804, 877, 865, 846, and 864, and I'm not going to keep shooting the rest of that mag. For the add up on that, we have an average of 851, high of 877, a low of 804, extreme spread of 73, and number of shots 5. Okay, so now we have that 45 ACP plus P. It should be going 1,000 feet per second, so it should remain subsonic. And we are going to test it off. We have about 3 rounds again, and these are the Underwood Extreme Penetrator. 1144, 966, and 1,000. So right around where it should be. All right, let's just do a quick little add up. And we had an average of 1,004, which is exactly what the box said. Extreme spread of 78. There was a big difference in there. So top of 1044, bottom of 956, I think. You'll have seen it. Let's move on to the next stuff. Okay, so next up we have the 45 Super. See what we can do here. 1070, 1083, and 1097. So again, about where it should be, about 1,100. That's up from the 1,000. That's up from the 880. Each of these are going up 100 or 200 feet per second more with each one. Let's just take a look at the add up, just so that we get the averages, and we can't do simple averaging with only three numbers. This has to be done by a computer, and the average is 1083 with a high of 1097, a low of 1070, standard deviation of 13.8, extreme spread of 27. Okay, we've got the 460 Rowland. Let's see what that can do. 1308, 1284, 1287. Not great, but it's still pretty powerful. Okay, if we just take a look at the ADIP, we have an average of 1283, high of 1308, and a low of 1284. We just had the 3 shots and extreme spread of 25. Okay, everybody, I hope everyone had a fun time today, just learning about some different bullet characteristics from 4 different cartridges, but all the same diameter and caliber. So we just talked a little bit about 45 ACP, 45 plus P, 45 Super, and 460 Rowland. Obviously, as we went up and up and up in terms of the more powerful cartridges, you could see in the gel more and more energy being displaced and being impacted on our targets. That was reflected in our lab tests when we could see the velocities stepping up and up and up. In terms of like, why would you use this? Why would you do this? Certainly, I think people are looking for better and better ballistics out of their firearms. And as you do that with 9mm, I just wanted to make sure that that's also been done in 45 caliber as well, that all of our rounds are getting better bullets, better gunpowder, and better ballistics. None of these rounds are any new. They've all been around for a few decades. 45 ACP quite a while, but ironically 9mm is older than 45 ACP. I know, and it was also in multiple world wars, so not just saying that, but we all know who won those. All right, so hopefully this video was instructional. Hope everyone had a fun time today. Let me know what you all think about these calibers. Do you prefer one over the other? Certainly, I think it also scales with cost, although I think 460 Rowland, 45 Super are all about the same cost. You can definitely get 45 ACP and 45 plus P ammunition for cheaper, but that's also something to consider. Of course, you can always reload, and then it's pretty much the same component. So let me know what you guys think. Put your comments in the comments below. Please share the video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done already. I appreciate all of you, and I hope everyone has a great week. Let's get to shooting.